Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to thank you. And we got one coming straight out of Mississippi. And as you all have noticed in many of my videos, for those that follow me, we've had quite a few stories about lawyers, judges, and police officers, and this one is about a Mississippi female police officer and her police chief. So let's go. Mississippi police chief slams cop caught stealing $140 sneakers in her police uniform as city county unanimously votes to fire her from the force. A Mississippi cop was arrested for shoplifting while on duty. Robin Connor, 33, was in uniform and driving her police cruiser when she was caught stealing a $140 pair of shoes from Dick's Sporting Goods. The Columbus cop was arrested and charged with misdemeanor shoplifting. So there you go. Here we go. That was the preface, and there goes the story. A Mississippi police chief slammed a cop who was caught stealing a $140 pair of sneakers from a Dick's Sporting Goods store while wearing her police uniform. Columbus Police Chief Joseph Doherty said Officer Robin Connor, 33, was on duty in a patrol car before she was arrested on Wednesday for shoplifting. An employee observed them and detained the officer and called 911. Knowing it was an officer, called the shift supervisor, and they noticed it. She said, myself, the assistant chief, and the captain over the patrol call all responded. We're putting her in jail. It's embarrassing for the department. But we're going to treat her like we would anybody else, Police Chief Doherty said. The city council voted Thursday morning 5-0 to fire Ms. Connor from the police department, as reported by WTVA. The department will handle Connor's arrest like any other, Doherty said, insisting that there's no conflict of interest. If it was a major case, we would turn it over to another agency. But with this being a misdemeanor and it's pretty much cut and dry, they're going to handle it, Doherty said. According to Human Resources Director Pat Mitchell, Connor has worked with the department since August 2022. After being taken to jail in her own cruiser, this police officer went and stole. So follow the storyline. This female black police officer in Mississippi, 33, decides to go into a Dick's Sporting Goods store, steal a $140 pair of sneakers while she's in uniform and driving her police cruiser. They said after being taken to jail in her own cruiser, Connor was then booked into the Lowndes County Adult Detention Center. Connor was charged with misdemeanor shoplifting for stealing goods worth less than $1,000. She was given an $862 surety bond, and they said, we have a job to do. This is what her comrades and her fellow officers said. We have a job to do, and we're held to a higher standard. And the community is just starting to trust us, talking about the police, and to take this to take this gut punch really hurts, said Chief of Police Daughtry. That's why we fulfilled our obligation, not only to the store, but to the community in making this arrest to one of their own. In blue, they said that even Ms. Connor, the average salary of a police officer in Columbus, Mississippi, is $56,000 a year. Connor had recently shared on a post to her Facebook account featuring selfies of her wearing her police uniform with the caption, "Happy National Law Enforcement Day," accompanied by 3 heart emojis. People took to the comments following the news of her alleged shoplifting, with one user joking, "I would have bought the shoes for you." Another one said, "Wait, did you just get charged for shoplifting while on the clock in uniform and in your patrol car? Such a disgrace to the badge," another user said. So I don't know if this police officer was this Connor lady, was she immature? Was she having some kind of breakdown? Or was there an overly egregious level of arrogance where she thought as a police officer nobody would pay attention to her stealing a pair of tennis shoes out of Dick's Sporting Goods store? I don't know. My listeners, you will have to tell me which part of this narrative ended up with this police officer, 33 years old, in handcuffs and in jail for stealing tennis shoes. Or was it just a level of immaturity? They also said Miss Connor, the police officer, has even used her personal Facebook account to share messages on behalf of the Columbus Police Department, including one that said, "Family and friends, please stay at home off the roads. It's going to get worse and it's going to turn into black ice tonight," talking about a particular bad day with the weather. "Please and thank you, Columbus Police Department." She also used her Facebook page to share cocktail recipes, her extensive perfume collection, and plenty of pictures of her on duty as a cop. So this is a real bizarre story. In the sense, she's a police officer. She's in a position of authority, no different than a lawyer, a doctor, or a judge. And maybe she didn't take her job all that serious. She, especially with her extensively being on Facebook in uniform, she's riding between a fine line between professionalism and being unprofessional. It's okay for a police officer to have a Facebook page, but I think you should do that not in uniform unless it's something associated with your job, and you're a human being 24 hours a day, and then being a police officer is part of your job a portion of the day. So I don't know if she was taking this whole police officer thing and taking it lightly, and wanted to show individuals that she was a police officer, and then in the same token that she didn't think that she had to follow the same laws that every other American citizen has to follow. I think this is a complete embarrassment on several levels. One, being an African American man, a black man, and to see this black woman who ended up being talented enough to become a police officer, but to end up ashamed by committing theft, when theft and looting and shoplifting is taking place all throughout our country. And her job entailed, and her shield entailed, for her to protect and serve the public and not to be a contributor to the chaos and disruption that's taking place throughout our entire country. These lax liberal laws that you've heard me talk about on some of my other videos in the state of Illinois with the Safety Act, the cashless bonds, in the whole state of California that's being decimated with these liberal laws. You can steal up to $950 a day and not get arrested. In Illinois, minor infractions, you get arrested and you get out under your own recognizance to appear in court. New York has lost over 2,500 police officers in the last year, and they have very lax laws where a gentleman has gotten arrested over 100 times in a year and a half for shoplifting and has gotten out on his own every single time. And now you have a police officer in Mississippi who is deciding to contribute the same disdain to the community as some of these civilians has. She should lose her job. It's an embarrassment. They have to make an example. And if the police are going to steal, what does that say for the rest of the citizenry of America? Tell me what you think. She needs to be fired and made an example of, and never let that happen again. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.